President Trump and New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani having an unannounced meeting at the White House yesterday. The Democrat socialist asking for billions in federal funding for a major affordable housing project.
Madeline Rivera joins us now with all the details. Hi, Maddie.
Good morning, Carly and Todd. Building more affordable housing is one of Mayor Mamdani's campaign pledges, so he met with President Trump to appeal for more federal funds. Specifically, Mayor Mamdani is looking to secure $21 billion in federal grants to build the world's largest deck over Sunnyside Rail Yard in western Queens. Per the mayor's office, the project would allow them to build 12,000 new affordable homes. Mamdani says it would mark the largest housing and infrastructure investment in the Big Apple in more than 50 years. Mayor Mamdani says New York City is facing a generational affordability challenge. Working families are being priced out of the neighborhoods they built. To meet this moment, we need a true federal partner prepared to invest boldly and act urgently. I appreciated the opportunity to speak directly with President Trump about building more housing in any single project than our city has seen since 1973. President Trump and Mayor Mamdani have maintained a cordial relationship since the Democratic Socialists paid the president a visit in November. The president said he and Mamdani found common ground on issues like affordability and public safety, adding they just want their shared hometown of New York City to do well. Mamdani posted this photo of him with the president holding a mock front page with a headline that read, "Trump to City, let's build." He says he and the president will continue to have talks in the coming weeks. Carly and Todd.
All right, Madeline Rivera live for us in Washington. Maddie, thank you. Let's bring in senior writer for the Washington Examiner and Fox News contributor Joe Concha. Joe, they're both smiling in that picture. It's never not notable or newsworthy when we see these two together. And as our producer Taylor Vivi pointed out, that this proves that if Democrats want to work with President Trump, his door is always open, and they certainly can.
Wow, that's a great point. I mean, we see it in cities like Memphis and New Orleans, where the mayors there are working with the president. They're Democrats, of course, and crime has gone down considerably. In this case, Zohran Mamdani wants to build. He goes to perhaps the greatest builder in New York City history, not perhaps, absolutely, in Donald Trump. And Trump has always had an interest to make New York great again, and obviously, in addition to the country. So it's interesting that Mamdani used to have social media posts calling Trump a fascist and an authoritarian. But when it comes to wanting the kind of money he needs to build the kind of projects that he wants, he's willing to put all that aside, as is the president, more importantly, to get things done. So this is about not performance, not politics, but actually things that will make a difference to New Yorkers. And New York, for now, Donald Trump seems to be, the president seems to be behind that.
That said, Joe.
Yeah, and that's big that.
It has not been all Mamdani marshmallows. I was looking for something to alliterate. I don't know if that worked, but speaking of something that's white and you throw, it's called snow, oftentimes with ice inside. Nevertheless, here's what Mayor Mamdani had to say about that now infamous snowball fight.
I can just tell you from the video I saw, it looked like kids at a snowball fight.
Okay. The NYPD announcing an arrest from this week's snowball fight among kids. This morning, the NYPD arrested Gusmain Coulibaly, 27 years old, for assaulting our officers earlier this week in Washington Square Park. He was previously arrested less than 3 weeks ago for an attempted robbery in the transit system. Joe, this ain't no kid.
Yeah, as the New York Post puts it this morning, that snow kid, that's on the cover of the Post this morning. I mean, that kid is tall enough to start for the New York Knicks. And let's state the obvious here, Todd, Carly. Mayor Mamdani absolutely blew this. I mean, he should have stepped up to the mic days ago and declared that this kind of behavior you see on your screen was completely unacceptable. 2 New York City police officers were put in the hospital as a result of this so-called snowball fight, as the mayor put it. Yeah, look, for starters, snowball fights usually involve two sides throwing snowballs at each other and usually involve those under 12 years old. That was not the case here on both fronts. And one would have to wonder, if the mayor was repeatedly pelted in the head and the face like these officers were and being humiliated, would he just laugh it off as a snowball fight, or would there be actual accountability?
Yeah, and we don't want that to happen to anybody, which is why it's so important to take these things seriously. And what does it say to you, Joe, that this person already had their assault charges dropped? I mean, what does it say to you? What does it say to other criminals who do watch the news. You have to give them credit here, and they know when somebody at the top is signaling that they will be soft on crime, and you have to worry about things to come, especially when it starts warming up.
Carly, that's an excellent point, because it's about the optics here as well. I mean, that's also very important, especially in a world of social media, because seeing those officers just get hit over and over again, that was a message that you could disrespect law enforcement in New York and get away with it and even celebrate it. So, yeah, there was an arrest here, but at the same time, assault charges were dropped against the person that was arrested. And by the way, more than one person's throwing those snowballs that you see on your screen. And until the mayor shows that he wants to be tough on crime, something his past statements say that he clearly does not want to do, you're going to have low morale among the NYPD, resignations, early retirements, and the city will become uninhabitable for many, because crime is going to skyrocket under a mayor who seems to support criminals more than he does the people sworn to protect criminals. And this sort of stuff really has a big, big impact moving forward for everybody who just says, you know what, I can get away with it here in New York. And that's a big, big problem in the greatest city in the world.
What's been lost in this story a little bit because of Mamdani's response is the fact that some people thought they weren't throwing snowballs at police officers. They thought they were throwing them at ICE agents. So to them, that was acceptable because they're ICE agents, ignoring the fact that this is a law enforcement officer. And no matter what badge they're wearing, you can't do this, period. I find that fascinating. It goes to your point, Joe. We'll see what happens when the weather warms up. Joe Concha.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.